If you had $100 to spend, what Nintendo 64 games would you buy? Hey Nintendo fans and collectors, Lithium here for my channel Nintendo Collecting, bringing you my second starter guide for the Nintendo 64. This is hopefully going to be a 5-part series where I spend $100 each video. In part 1, if you haven't watched that, there's a link in the description below the video, but I bought a console, I bought cords, we got a controller, and we got 5 outstanding games, but I won't list those games here. You'll have to go to part 1 if you're interested in those. This time around, I'm buying 6 different games with my second $100, getting us to $200 spent. And essentially, I must say that all these prices are taken from eBay's auctions. Always try and buy auctions because they're actually a bit less expensive than buy it nows. And I look at the sold auctions, so that's where I'm getting my prices from. The prices in part 1 probably went up over the past year, but that's okay. I'm going to keep that up for now. So with our next $100 budget, I'm actually going to first get a controller. I think it's great to have 2 controllers because the N64 is fantastic for multiplayer. I'm not going to buy 4 controllers all at once, but our second controller, I'm really hoping you have a budget of just $10 for this one. I know some people say, I can't find a controller in my region for less than $20. I think you need to be more patient, look a little bit more, and perhaps you could also buy one on eBay, from Japan especially, because the controllers worldwide work on any Nintendo 64 console, so at $10 I get a controller. It might not necessarily be jungle green like this one, it might just be plain gray, or atomic purple is another very common one, but you should be able to get another controller for just $10. Alright, let's get to the games, because $10 is gone, we've got a second controller. Starting with the most expensive game in this list, I'm starting with one of my favorite games of all time. This is Paper Mario. At $27, this is a good chunk of our budget, but I do think it's worth it. This one is such a great game on this console. It's quirky, it has a lot of charm, I love all the characters in it. You get to go through the Mushroom Kingdom in a turn-based battle system that is a great introduction game for anyone who's looking to play an RPG. I think this is a must-have on the Nintendo 64, and I'm willing to pay $27 of my second budget to get it, because I think it's that good, and I enjoy that game a lot. Next up, a multiplayer game actually, and one of the best sports games for Mario I have ever played. That is Mario Tennis. This game's great 1 player against the computer, but it's also great 2 players. You can play against your friend or with them on your same team, and eventually when you have 3 and 4 controllers, this is a great multiplayer game as well. I love all the different courts that you can play on that have different aspects, like a higher bounce and different speeds, but you can also play different modes in this one. There's a Bowser mode, I believe, where you get power-ups, you launch them at your opponent, or you use mushrooms to actually run faster, and you try and beat your opponent while the court is tilting, and Bowser kind of moves it around as well. Fantastic, great sports game that's pretty in-depth, and I really enjoy that one. $20 spent on that Mario Tennis game. Mario games are getting more expensive, that's just the way it is. So we have $10 spent plus 27 plus 20 more. We're actually already at $57 spent, so more than half our budget is gone. Next up at $17 is Kirby 64, The Crystal Shards. This is a great 1-player game that you will definitely enjoy, or at least I really enjoyed it. The best part about this game is actually absorbing more than one enemy to kind of chain together 2 different power-ups. You can get electricity twice if you want, but you can get, just say for example, electricity and then a boulder, and that boulder is actually on like an electrical cord flying around you while you attack enemies. I like the boss battles in this game, and I really enjoy the power-ups. Kirby 64, The Crystal Shards at $17 is money well spent. That is $74 of our budget gone. We only have $26 left. And the next $16 of our budget is going towards one of the best collectathons ever, and that is Banjo Kazooie. A fantastically well-made game by Rare, who made so many great games on the Nintendo 64. This is probably one of the best of them. You can collect so much in this game, and there are such great different worlds in this game, that you will be playing this probably for tens of hours, which really gets your money out of it for $16. I can't recommend Banjo and Kazooie enough. I really wish these characters actually came to Smash Brothers. That would be a dream come true. Now we've spent $90 in our budget, we have just $10 left, and I'm hoping to get 2 really fantastic games for that price. At $6, here's a really highly replayable game in Pokemon Snap. This one is based off Generation 1, and to describe it, it's like an on-rails camera system game where you take pictures of Pokemon, you bring them back to Professor Oak, and he actually marks you and grades you, and you unlock new worlds as you go along. That doesn't sound that much fun, but it really is, and like I said, highly replayable. If you're a Pokemon fan, this is a must-have, and it's such a quirky, unique game in the N64's catalog that you must have this in your collection, especially for just $6. I think it's definitely worth it. Last game with our $4 budget that we have remaining, This game I have played a lot with my cousins, and it is 1080 Snowboarding. You can actually play 2 players with this. You can race downhill, you can do different moves. I absolutely love trying to unlock all the different riders or borders in the game, and I love different things that you can actually do in this. I think this game gave me probably some of the most fun in my childhood. I do hold nostalgia with it, but I do think it's definitely worth having, especially at $4. You cannot go wrong. In review for my second N64 starter guide, we bought a controller for $10, we bought Paper Mario for $27, Mario Tennis for $20, Kirby 64 for $17, Banjo Kazooie for $16, Pokemon Snap for $6, and 1080 Snowboarding for $4, totaling $100. Please comment below, what would you buy with $100 budget? Be sure to watch part 1 if you want to check out what games I bought in that one. We now have 11 great N64 games. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to fill that like bucket, follow me on all the social media links in the description below the video, and remember, as always, go collect them all and keep smiling while gaming.